Hi there. In this video, I am going to attempt to do a side-by-side comparison of completing the square with the algebra tiles and using the algorithm that you might have been taught in one of your math classes. And what I really love about doing this, and I've done it with several of my students, is you can see where that algorithm comes from in a very physical way. So what you're looking at on the screen there is on the right side, we have the quadratic x squared plus 4x plus 3. And then on the left side of your screen, you can see that we have, if I can move my mouse around, you can see it, x squared plus 4x plus 3. So we're modeling the quadratic with the algebra tiles. Now, in the process of completing a square, what you literally do with the tiles is you make the biggest square possible. Okay. And we know that the blue tile is already a square. So what I tell my students is you're going to grab those tiles. And if you make the square a little bit wider, you also have to go and make it a little bit taller. Okay, so whatever you add to the width of the square, also make sure that you're adding to the depth of the square or height of the square as well. And that's going to keep the overall width and the overall height the same. All right, and so I don't know why that moved back. Uh-oh, what is happening? It's not letting me drag. It's not letting me drag them. Let's plunk that down. Whoa. Okay. And now, okay, it'll let me drag it over. This could take a bit. All right, and we're gonna rotate that one. Now, when you're doing this, what my students will see fairly quickly on is that if you have an even number of tiles, in order to retain the shape of the square, you have to divide those x's evenly, because whatever you add to one side, you've got to add it to the other side there. To the height, you got to add to the depth in order to make it stay a square. And that is where we get that first step. Take the b value, which is 4, and divide it by 2. And so that number that you see when you divide it by 2 is literally, if I come over here, it's how many tiles you have on each side of that square. Okay. Now, in the algorithm, once you take that number and divide by 2, the next thing you have to do is square it. Okay. And the reason you square it, if you come back over here to our model over here, is we've got a square that forms, and that square is the size of whatever that number is, okay, to square it. So if I had 6 and I divided it by 2, I'd have 3 on each side, and the square would be 3 by 3 or 9, okay? In this case, in order to try to keep this a problem as small as possible, we have a 2 by 2 square, which is 4. Now, in the algorithm, at this point, you would take that 4 and you would add it, but you would also subtract it, because you would have to add essentially a 0. So right in here, we're adding a 4 and we are subtracting a 4, which means we're essentially adding 0. Now, what that looks like over here with the algebra tiles is I am going to add 4. Okay, so I'm going to bring over 4 tiles here. But I am also going to have to bring in negative 4, okay? And here is literally the 4 plus the negative 4. And essentially, I've added the 0. Now, in our algorithm, we would now take that piece of it, the x squared, and then I would use these 4 tiles to complete the square. Sorry, it's going to be an imperfect explanation here, but okay. And so we go over and we complete the square with those 4, but we have this minus 4 that's floating out there with the plus 3. Okay. Now, in the algorithm, we would take the x squared plus 4x plus 4, and we would then factor it. But if you're using the tiles, the factorization is already given for you. That is x plus 2 all squared. It's x plus 2 times x plus 2. And so this is x plus 2 all squared. Now, what a teacher might have told you is, hey, whatever number you got when you divided by 2, that's the number that's going to go in there. You can see it there on the tiles. And then in the algorithm, we would do -4 plus 3, and that would give us -1. With the tiles, we'd literally form up these 0 pairs, okay? And those all cancel each other out. So we'll kind of kick those out. And we are left with the -1. And I really wanted to make a video for this, and I apologize that it's a little bit bumpy in places, but so many people have been taught this like algorithm and these set of steps for completing the square and don't really have a visual for why it's like called completing the square, that you're literally making a square, and how that can be modeled with the tiles. And so I like making that connection. I hope that this video helped. Give it a thumbs up or a like, or subscribe to the channel if it did. I know it's like a little bit longer than a normal short. It's not even going to qualify as a short because it took too long, but I do hope it was valuable, and please check out some of the other videos that we have on the channel.